Hey folks, we have a heavy topic to talk about today, IRS audits. We get these two questions often. What are the odds I will get selected for an audit? And if I take this tax position on my return, will that increase my odds of an audit? So let's talk about the elephant that could be in the room. And if you like charts, you're gonna geek out on this tax topic today. On the screen are the IRS 2020 audit numbers, the most recent year we have data. The tax return year in this case is 2018. The year that is just outside the 3-year statute of limitations. The IRS had approximately 154 million individual income tax returns, with about 370,000 being examined through a full IRS audit, called a field audit, or about 0.25% of all the returns filed. As a whole, you can see the odds of an audit are really low. The IRS proposed additional taxes due on about 89% of all the returns they examine. That is a pretty notable statistic. That stat tells the IRS and Congress that if they can allocate additional dollars towards tax enforcement, the return on that investment will be pretty significant. And in fact, lawmakers have been debating funding the IRS with an additional $80 billion in additional budget dollars over the next decade to significantly increase enforcement activities. The chance of an audit increases based on your declared adjusted gross income on your tax return. Take a look at this chart. If you claim over $10 million, you're going to face a 5.3% chance of an audit. Interestingly, taxpayers with income between $5 and $10 million are seeing audits 1% of the time, and taxpayers with a negative income are 2%, double the chance of an audit if you show a loss over taxpayers with almost $5 to $10 million in income. About 10% of all audits are the quote-unquote full or field examinations we were talking about. However, the IRS does initiate about 3.2 million letter audits focused on math errors, underreported income due to 1099s or W-2s that the IRS knows exist but in which you did not claim the income. But when you look at the dollars they are collecting on the very small amount of field audits, representing over $10 billion, you can see why some lawmakers are pushing hard to increase the IRS budget so they can perform more field audits. But overall, you can see why we often say the odds of an audit are very, very remote. Lastly, let's address the other question we get a lot. What are the behaviors that increase my chances of an audit? Let me lead with the official answer. We really don't know. The IRS has a computer algorithm that assigns a score to each tax return, where the higher the score, the higher the probability of an audit. Pretty much what the algorithm is looking for is people with high deductions and low income. After the algorithm assigns the score, the higher scores are passed off to a human IRS examiner that makes the final determination of an audit after the examiner has reviewed your return. Only approximately 10% of all those algorithm-suggested audits actually receive an audit after a human examiner reviews your return. The exact triggers of the computer algorithm is kept under strict secret at the IRS. But we do know behaviors like the following are going to influence the score for the worse. Using round numbers, excessive losses including repeat losses on your Schedule Cs, failure to report some of your income that the IRS already knows about through W-2s and 1099s, above average charitable donation amounts, or claiming certain tax credits. IRS audits can be stressful, and your best defense is good records and a phone call to us. Side note, you will find our team at Linked Accounting sends out IRS powers of attorney for your electronic signature once every 2 to 3 years. Signing these powers of attorney ensure we are getting copies of any IRS correspondence you are already receiving and helps us get a jump on any questions the IRS may be sending out to you. Please sign these powers of attorney when you receive them.